This is the Camp Snap camera. It's a fairly small, thin, pocketable, and marketed as a digital film camera. It's an 8 megapixel, 1/3.2 inch sensor. So photo quality on it is not great. It's not anything to write home about, but it's a cool little design. It's easy to take just about anywhere, and you do get some really cool photos out of this. So some notable features on this Camp Snap camera are that it's drop proof, it's eco-friendly, it does have a little LED flash on here, so you can illuminate subjects if you need to. It's rechargeable, easy to use, and has a one-button option with the flash switch on the back. It's also going to display how many photos you've taken on the camera. So just as simple as clicking this button here, and you have your photo. I do have some examples that we're going to throw on here, just so you can see what it looks like. The big thing is not to expect too much from this camera. It's fun, it's a quirky little thing, and it does get some cool images with some nice tones, but it's not going to be a full digital camera sensor. A cool thing with this Camp Snap is that there are uploadable film styles on it. So there's a warm vintage, there's a black and white, there's your standard, and there's one other one on there. It looks somewhat similar to like a Fujifilm, like Superior kind of color tones. So you will get some pretty cool images out of it. Where I would say this is best used for is somewhere in the outdoors like we are today. We're actually on my side porch because we got some cool birds and bird feeders going, but I just like recording out here. Long story short, it's $65, so I would say it's worth the price if you use it as intended. This is not something that you're going to get professional quality photos out of, not prints, unless you're printing on like, you know, Polaroid paper or something small like that. But you will be able to get some like really cool, quick images out of it. So places I would use this would be like to go to the river with me, or if I'm out at camp, something like that. Places that I don't want to take a full rig, something that I can just, you know, throw in a back pocket, have it on me at all times. It's very light. Doesn't have any video features. It has an f1.8 equivalent lens, which on a sensor that small, you're not going to get a huge depth of field either, just as a forewarning. So with this being a fixed aperture camera, you don't have to worry about any settings other than your flash, which is, as I said, just on a switch. So right now it's on, that's the off setting, and that's the auto setting. It's the only thing that you have to worry about on this camera. Another cool thing about it is you can kind of accessorize it. So I have the teal one, or aqua, I think they have it listed as, but there's a ton of colors from brown to black to yellow, orange, camp green. So something that you can kind of tailor your style a little bit, almost as if you would have like a skin wrap on a full camera. The focal length on it is equivalent to about a 35 millimeter. It says that the lens is like a 4.8 millimeter. I'm guessing that there's a huge crop factor based on the size of the sensor in this thing. So you, with it only being 8 megapixels, you are going to want to get your compositions right in camera. Cropping is going to be a big no-go on this, just because of the image quality. But all things aside, with the specifications and the technicalities, why you would buy this is it's fun. It's a fun little camera. It's only $65, and I think it's nice to be able to just kind of like pocket something and not have to worry about it. If you want to go do a day on the river, or, you know, a day hiking where you don't feel like taking a full rig and can't afford one of the more expensive point and shoots like an RX100 or the Fuji X106, something like that. This is going to fit in a pocket a little bit easier than those, and it's way, way cheaper. Now, I will say, if you're going to be posting these to like Instagram or Facebook or anything like that, you're not going to notice a huge difference. There is some signal noise on it. It's very palatable. It does somewhat have a filmic look to it, so it's not a bad thing. And all of the files that are going to come out of this are going to be JPEG, so you don't have the option to shoot RAW. You're not going to be editing these a lot. It's kind of just a grab it, point, shoot what you're looking at, and don't really have to think about it too much other than, you know, your composition. So I'm going to go ahead and roll some photos that I've taken with this thing. I think you're going to be surprised at what it can do for how cheap it is, and, you know, the image sensor size, the focal length and all that stuff, and not having to really worry about any settings. It's taking care of that all inside the camera for you. It's looking like you can get quite a bit of photos out of it. I'm seeing like 300, 400 out of most people. So just something to factor in. And you can just plug it into your computer via this USB, upload the photos straight to a folder file, or even plug it right into your phone, and they're there ready to go. So one other thing I want to comment on with this camera is that you're only going to want to use this mostly in daylight situations. It's not going to function very well in low light because of the small image sensor, also because of the fixed aperture and the fact that the settings are going to be kind of working themselves out inside the camera. I have taken a few indoor photos with the flash on. They leave some to be desired, but they are passable. I also shoot on a Canon SX550 PowerShot. That has slightly better image quality, even though it is a lower megapixel camera. So just something to think of. But again, at a $65 price point, I don't think there's anything else on the market quite like this thing. So if you thought about picking up one of the CampSnap cameras, the biggest thing about it is the fun factor. It's a fun camera to just grab and go and not have to think about. There's some nostalgia to it, to the images. They do look like they were shot on, you know, like an old point-and-shoot film camera like the Fujifilms used to make and Kodaks used to make. So I do think they're marketing this the right way, being the digital film camera. It's almost like it's a disposable, but you don't throw it away because it's eco-friendly.